Richard Skipper celebrates. Every show is a celebration. Richard Skipper celebrates the best in entertainment. Each show, Richard delivers the artists you love, showcasing what makes them unique. Never gossipy. The antidote to a sometimes hectic world. Now, here's your host, Richard Skipper.
Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Richard Skipper Celebrates. Who or what are you celebrating today? I'm celebrating the incredible Sharon McNight, and here she is, early in the day on the West Coast in California. She's going to be appearing at Vitello's on December 9th with her incredible holiday show with John Boswell, one of my favorite musical directors, at the piano. But before then, she is here today with us. And I have known Sharon, should I say this, Sharon, since the early 1980s, when I first walked into 88s. And there you were, doing what comes naturally for you. And you knocked me over. And I have been a huge fan of yours ever since. And I have told you this on more than one occasion. You are truly one of my favorite people in this business.
No responsibility there, for God's sake.
You are truly the real deal. And I want to give everyone a sense. I'm going to pull up, I think I've got a video file here. We're going to show a little bit of you. We'll keep you on the screen here. We'll show
There's
everybody.
a little bit of me right there.
Here you are.
So we're going to do a little bit of everything here tonight, because that's what I kind of do. For those of you who've never seen my act, how many of you have never seen my show before? Raise your hands. People got to get out more. I've been doing this for 35 years, lady. After I'm gone, a lot of things will happen. A lot of things will happen. Oh, Lord, amen. Yes, after I'm gone, a lot of things will happen that I won't know about then. But in the meantime, say all they gave me was the in-between time for some loving and some living. I gotta do it in the time I'm given. Meantime made me nothing to posterity, but in the meantime, doing nothing sure is a worry in me. Oh, my relatives must be here tonight. Every day you've got to write some haiku, and I've got plenty time left when I'm through. I'm late for work now. Has anyone seen my keys? Shit, not this again. Haiku number 3. Kilimanjaro, Botswana, and East Timor. I hope you rock there. That's haiku number 4. Late at night when everybody's sound asleep, and thought go racing round and round in your head. Don't go to sleep, you know just what you gotta do. You gotta get up and write some haiku. Even you can be a writer if you get up and write some haiku. If you haven't seen the act, before. Hey, get out more, please. And you've never seen a woman do Betty Davis, have you, either? So if your passion rages, I'm in the yellow pages under ow, 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 You won't be disappointed. I'm also double jointed. Ow, 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 ow. Though it leaves a lot of fellas cursing, I'm a person needs dispersing. So to reaffirm my status, it's absolutely gratis to share my apparatus. I'm everybody's girl. The other day I was walking across the cow pasture and a bull started chasing me. I was so tired, I ran. Guilty.
Uh-oh.
Yes, yes, I'm guilty. I'm gonna be guilty for the rest of my days. How come I never do what I'm supposed to do? How come nothing I try, nothing ever turns out right? You know me, babe. You know how it really is with me. You see, I just can't stand myself. No. It's gonna take a whole lot of medicine, darling, to make me believe I'm somebody
Ooh. You know, I don't like looking at myself. That's one of my problems. I don't like watching myself.
Well, I love watching you, and
Well,
I have to say, you know, Carol Channing once said, there are entertainers and there are performers. A seal is a performer because a seal is only interested in getting a fish. It will flap its fins. It will bounce a ball on its nose. It doesn't care about anything but getting that fish. But you are an entertainer. You are interested in those people sitting in the back of the theater, and you just give and give and give until it feels like there's nothing else to give. And then you give some more. Where did you first discover that you had this phenomenal gift of giving? Like, I mean, I've never seen you give less than 250% and then some.
Well, I my old saying when I started out, when they started having covers, what was a cover? We never had covers. When it was $5, I went, well, if it's $5, I've got to give them at least $8 worth of show so they come back for more, you know. It's just, I think it's just something, a discipline that was instilled in me by my parents and my dance teachers and my music teachers. I mean, I was an only child, so I had every lesson you could possibly have, you know.
Well, speaking of an only child, I want to show them. This is you.
Oh.
And obviously you haven't changed a bit.
No.
With a lollipop there. I love this.
And a Christmas stocking, and that's baby Gary sitting, my baby, my doll next.
There you are. When you see this photograph, can you tell us a little bit about this little girl?
She liked to laugh and have a good time. I know that much.
That's great. I asked for a photograph of you. How old are you in this photograph?
You know, that's a tough one. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea at all. It was taken before, probably 2 or 3, I guess. I don't know, honey. I'd be stabbing in the dark, quite frankly.
Now, did you grow up in a household where there was a lot of music played? Were your parents interested in entertainment? Were you a television household? Where did you first become aware of the world of entertainment?
Well, in that photograph, we didn't have a television. No one had a television then. But that's how old I am. Just my father was a mailman, and we lived on his mail route. We moved from that little girl sitting in the wicker chair. We moved, and I started first grade, and he delivered mail in that area. And there was a piano teacher there, Genevieve Jones, bless her heart, and all the rich kids took lessons from Genevieve, and so my father got me piano lessons. So that started at around second grade. And then after that, it was my best friend played the flute. So I learned how to play the flute, and my people down the street were taking dance lessons. So they gave me dance lessons. I think my parents knew they had trouble on their hands. Gotta keep this girl busy, baby. I'll tell you right now. She said, so we're looking at that video of me singing live. I've lost 35 pounds.
You look great.
Thank you. And it's so weird to see my big round face and my big round body, and gave away a lot of expensive clothes.
Well, I just lost 50 pounds over the pandemic. So I know.
Congratulations. You and I are the only two people in America that have lost weight during this thing, right?
Well, I gained it. No, I actually gained it. And I went to Provincetown, and you and I have spent a lot of time in Provincetown. I couldn't, Sharon, I have to tell you, I hit every bench in Provincetown. This was in July, and I could not walk because of the weight I was carrying around. I ballooned up to 200. Everyone, I'm giving it away. I ballooned up to 259 pounds. And it's a lot for me. And I came back to my doctor, and I went on Noom, and I've lost, and I'm still losing, but 50 pounds lighter, and I feel great. So congrats. And how did you do it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just got bored of eating, I guess. I just didn't eat that much. I don't eat that much anymore, I can drink. I can still drink.
Good for you. So, so when you started taking, flute lessons and your dancing and everything, when did the opportunities start happening for you to start doing theater? Were there local opportunities where you were growing up?
Well, yeah. I had to do band and you had to do orchestra. If you were first chair and your instrument, you had to play in the orchestra. And so I did speech in high school. I did dramatic interpretation and humorous interpretation. I was the kind of the go-to on that kind of stuff in the speech tournament thing. And then when I got into junior college, I auditioned for Guys and Dolls, and I got on stage and I had to sing something. Well, there was a song called "Bushel and a Peck" in Guys and Dolls, and my mother used to sing that song. And so I learned that song and I knew it. So I just got up there and I love you, a bushel and a peck, all these crazy voices that I do. My high school boyfriend did W.C. Fields. So it made sense that I, of course, would do May. And, so I just got up there and, about you. And everybody looked up from their books and said, but what the hell she's got this huge voice. The theater sat 999 people, and they heard me in the back row. And so I got the part of Adelaide. And that was kind of the beginning of my folk musical career. I didn't sing. I didn't sing. I played an instrument, and I danced, and did crazy stuff. And I was chosen by my high school class as the wittiest person in the school.
Well, there are two layers to this onion that I want to peel back here. First is that you talk about these various disciplines that you were taught, and you and I have had these discussions before. And discipline is something that you are very, very uh, you really are a very strong advocate of. And a lot of people come along now. You have paid your dues and are still paying your dues.
Yeah.
And a lot of people come along and they want to win a MAC award, or they want to open in a club. They want all the things that it took you years to get.
Yeah.
What is your response to all of those that want that instant gratification? And of course, we have shows like American Idol, and So You Think You Can Sing, and all of these shows that want to give people instant stardom like this.
Well, and some of them get it too, and didn't pay their dues. I mean, when we went to get a song, if you wanted to learn a song, you had to have somebody take it off a record. They had to listen to the record over and over and over to get the chords down, or you did it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's, internet easy. So they don't have, I don't know. It just, it's irksome.
It is irksome. So every Guys and Dolls, was that, did you at that moment say, this is a career that I want to pursue? Or did that begin to happen gradually after that?
Well, I was in the drama department anyway. I was going to go and get a degree in drama. I thought I was going to be an actress, head of cabaret, all that kind of stuff. But when you're a comedian, they don't let you be head of cabaret. You're never really taken seriously, so to speak. So, I just knew I was going to go to San Francisco State College and get a degree in theater. And
why San Francisco?
Because it was close to where I lived.
Okay.
And it was the place that everybody went. When I was a child, my mother and her friend, who also had a daughter, we would all get dressed up and drive to San Francisco, or take the bus to San Francisco and then the ferry across, and go for, an afternoon, like a Saturday afternoon, for lunch and stuff, and walk around and shop. It was the place to go. It's, and, being, that was the hippie times. So I gravitate to the, it was the flower child time, and it was, I was there the big year, when it all started to happen. So.
Yes, absolutely. So as you started to, and which started happening first for you, the club work or the theater work?
The theater. I was doing plays, musicals. They had a Marin County, which is across the Golden Gate Bridge. We would do the summer season there, the musical. And I did musicals and did a lot of musical theater. Here's the thing: I played an instrument. I played the flute, classical flute, and I also played the piano. So I had a leg up on a lot of people who were trying to be in musical theater who couldn't read music. Hello. So that was kind of a helping hand. I really didn't get into the club business until much later. Probably. Let me count. How old are you, Toto? Hello. Probably 15 years later. Now that I think of 15, carry the one. I don't know.
Well, before we get there, as you're doing theater, at what point did it begin to happen that you started getting a name for yourself in the theater, and people started calling you saying, Sharon, we'd love for you to come and audition for this role, or we would just love for you to come in and do this role? Obviously, once you start to establish yourself within any community, communities are small, and you get to acclimate yourself. At what point did that begin to happen for you?
Well, the acting thing didn't really come up. It came up as a directing thing, because I wrote children's plays for children when I was just in junior college in the summertime. And I directed children in children's plays in a park in my hometown. And so I became a director, and I got a master's degree in direction. So it was more of a directing thing, and I was going to be a director instead of a performer, which was fine with me, because I could wear my Levi's a t-shirt all the time. I didn't have to dress up. Now I have to dress up. I just, anyway, so I was mostly a director. And then I was directing, and then I actually directed Jesus Christ Superstar, the first stage production in America.
Wow.
And yeah, in a church. Harry Groener, I don't know if you know Harry.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, Harry was my Jesus. Donovan Scott was my King Herod, if you know Donovan, who actually
yeah.
crazy guy, lives here in LA. So I was directing mostly, and then it turned out that an odd things how the world collides and comes together. Wesla Whitfield, you know Wesla?
Of course, yes.
Okay, well, Wesla and I went to college together, and so I knew her from 100 years ago, and she was shot.
Yes, I know.
And crippled. And she was doing a show at Chez Jacques, which was one of the early cabarets in San Francisco. And she was shot, and they needed a third person to go in on this trio that they had on the weekends. And so a friend of mine said, "Hey, well, why don't you go in and sing? You sing? Don't you sing a little bit?" I said, "Well, yeah, I did musical theater, and so I went in an audition and I got the part. So I was part of this 3 thing that happened. Shoot, I wish I'd gotten the piece of paper that has our pictures on it. It's hysterical, really hysterical to see.
I met her. She was a good friend.
And so I replaced Wesla. And then that was the beginning of cabaret in San Francisco. And then I got my own solo act, and then I worked at probably every club in that city.
Can we back up just a moment, Sharon? How did you begin to eventually develop your act, and how did you begin to develop the Sharon McNight persona on stage?
Well, how did I begin to? I don't think I think I myself. Basically, I get out there and I tell the truth, my truth at least. And if I tell a joke, then I rehearsed it. But most of the time, it's just off the cuff. Here we go. Let's go. Let's have a party. Let's party. Let's be together in the same place and share the same experiences. I mean, most of the songs that I sing, as a matter of fact, a couple of the songs I sing, "A Kid Inside" by Craig Carnegie. Okay, It took me 6 years to learn that song. 6 years, and the reason it took me 6 years was that it was so close to my reality that every time I would start to sing it, I would cry. And that was the sign. That's usually the sign I know you got to learn that song, because if it's so close to you and you can get it inside you, you can tell it to the other people so they'll cry. You can't cry anymore. They have to cry. And so it took me 6 years to learn that song. Now I don't cry about the song, but everybody else freaks out of that song. You know what I mean? It's such a great tune. So I can't remember the question, but
I was asking how, developing your persona, and you answered it. It was your living your truth on stage.
Yeah, I just we go with the flow, and when Flo gets here, she's buying.
Was your audience there from the very beginning, or how long did it take for you to develop your audience? And I want to talk about the evolution of your audience in San Francisco. And you, at what point did you become bi-coastal? Because I met you in the early 80s in New York at 88. How did that transition happen?
Well, it's a multi-part question. Yes. In San Francisco, I started out in gay bars. And then all of a sudden, some gay guy brought a friend of his that wasn't gay, probably a woman. And the woman went, "Gee, I really like it here. Nobody's hassling me. Nobody's hitting on me. I'm free to be myself and have a good time and get a little drunk, maybe party." And so then all the straight people started coming, bringing their friends, and all of a sudden it was packed. And it just developed. People were. That was the culture was getting. The gay culture was getting assimilated by the straight people, and so that was how that started. And then I had a fan who'd seen me from San Francisco and wanted me to come to New York, and I played the bushes of Central Park.
Oh my God.
And we're going back.
Well, yes.
Yeah, we're going way back. So I walked into the first New York club. I'm with Glenn Kelly, who was my pianist then, and from San Francisco. We walk into the club, and it's a flat floor, and there's a microphone stand standing there, and there's a roach about this big, dead on its back. And I thought, oh, so this is New York. Oh,
Different type of roach from San Francisco.
there were no roaches. I only saw a roach one time in the Old First Church where I directed Jesus Christ Superstar. And I went, what the hell's that? Because we didn't have them in Modesto. I don't know why. They probably have them in Modesto, but not in our house. My mother was definitely chairman, and my father was a chef, so we don't do that. So, and then it's turned out that, oddly enough, that night, two guys who had seen me, who worked at the duplex, had been telling Irv Rabel about me, that this woman from San Francisco is coming and you should go see her. So Irv gets in the cab, and as he's getting in the cab, Ruby Rims walks by. He says, Ruby, I'm going to go see this woman from San Francisco everybody's been talking about. You want to go? Ruby says, sure. They get in the cab, they come and see me. They introduce themselves afterwards, and Irv says, I just bought this club. My lover and I, Rob, have bought this club in the Village. We'd like to have you come and work it the next time you come to New York. And I went, okay, sure. Probably, hoping for no roaches there. And
of course.
And so that was the beginning of the beginning, So it had just started developing, and then,
And I mean, and it was like a firecracker went off with you here in New York, and then Starmites comes along. And how did Starmites come about? Was it that someone saw you in one of the clubs?
No, I was in New York doing either the duplex or 88s. It had to be 88s then. And I, worked Don't Tell Mamas, name a club. I've been there at least once. And it was, I just went for the audition, and all of a sudden I sang, and they, Barry and Diane got up, the musical director Diane.
Excuse me.
Got up and said, well, just a minute, just stay right here. Don't move. We'll be back in a second. We'll be back.
Yeah.
They run out of the room, and I'm standing there going, what the hell did I do? I don't even remember what song I sang. And they went, oh, but we'd like to have you call back, come. And then I got the part. And it was the showcase directed by, and I have his picture up there. Shoot, I should have brought the pictures. You should have brought the pictures down, you dummy. Because there's, history in the making there. And I got the part. We did the workshop of it. And then.
But Sharon, when you went into audition, did you know anything at all about what you were auditioning for?
No. No, it was something. It was a mother and a queen. So that was the only part. I mean, I couldn't play the ingenue. That was for damn sure.
When did you, when, where, and how did you find out that the show is going to Broadway?
Well, Larry Carpenter had been directing by then. He did the summer version, and we did it out of town in whatever state that was. And he was getting pressed to do some other things, and I was getting pressed that I had to, I was doing Nunsense too at the time, keep busy. And so I said, we've got to get this thing up and running, because I can't wait around forever. It was like a year, and so they got it together, and the rest was history. So, and it was supposed to be off Broadway. We probably would still be running today if it was off Broadway, but we were in a little theater, the Criterion, which sat 500 people, right there in the heart of downtown, and Broadway, the Broadway producers weren't too happy about us being there, because we were small, independently produced, not in one of their theaters, so it was a uphill battle to try to stay afloat.
But a couple of things happen. First of all, first major thing, you get immortalized. There you are.
Here I am.
Yes, you are, by Hirschfeld.
Mhm.
I mean, talk about the experience of this happening for you.
Well, we didn't know he was going to be there. He and his wife showed up, but you could tell he was in the audience because his beard was so white that
Yes.
it reflected all the lights from the stage. We knew he was going to draw somebody. We didn't know who that somebody was. And then the publicist, a couple days later, told me that it was me, which was such a great honor. And I met him at the mayor's residence for some Tony party. If you're nominated, you have to go to a lot of these affairs, plus doing 8 shows a week.
Mhm.
It's the glamorous part of show business. And so I met him and his wife. They were lovely people, and just it was an honor. Actually, I did buy another Hirschfeld. I got one of, and actually you'll see it in the background. It's not, I can't. There it is, right there.
Okay.
That's Fiddler on the Roof. That's Zero Mostel of Fiddler on the
Wow.
Roof.
Wow.
But
And where were you when you got the call that you had been nominated for a Tony Award?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I really don't. It was rough because 2 of the other members of our cast were nominated as well, but not the other woman.
Mhm.
She wasn't nominated. And I heard there was a controversy. That wasn't Lucille Lortel. Who was it? Controversy. They didn't know if they should nominate me as best or supporting, because I really wasn't the star, but I was the star. I mean, there was some kind of technical thing. Boy, this is so weird. When you put your hand up, you want to put it in
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was an experience. It was an experience that I'll remember forever. And I actually, since I've lost all this weight, I got into the suit that I had designed myself and had made for the Tony Awards. It's a tuxedo with a skirt. And the shoulders come out to about Kansas.
Yes.
Big shoulder pads, rather.
Would you wear it again? I mean, do you have something?
Yeah, now that I fit into it, yay.
Absolutely. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And and I want to talk about one of your other iconic roles. And of course, in the audience, I've seen it several times. I actually followed you in San Francisco at the Plush Room.
Oh.
You closed as Sophie Tucker, and I opened the next night as Carol Channing when I was doing that 150,000 years ago
Yes,
for me.
they were pals. They were pals.
Yes, I know. But your Sophie Tucker was so incredible, and you and James Followell created, such a great show together. How did the show? I mean, where did the idea come from originally, and what did you learn about yourself performing as Sophie Tucker? What did she bring to you?
It originated when I was directing Jesus Christ Superstar at the old First Presbyterian Church. They had their tech guy, their handyman, come up to me and say, you remind me of Sophie Tucker. And I saw her in Chicago in 1942, and he would talk about how much I reminded him of Sophie Tucker. And I went, oh, thank you. I really didn't know who she was. And that was before the internet, for Pete's sake, And then some other people would say, oh, you have such a big voice. It's kind of like Sophie Tucker. And I kept hearing this name. And I went, gee, I better see what this woman is. So I kind of looked her up, not on the internet because there was no internet. And turned out a couple of the tunes I was doing, she did originate. Darktown Strutter's Ball, I sang that. And a few others. I can't remember the other titles. But so I thought, well, gee, I'll do a research. And I was in Provincetown and somebody said, oh, she wrote a book. I'll get it at the library in Boston and bring it to you. So they brought me the book to Provincetown, and I read the book in Provincetown. That was before there was not a lot to do in Provincetown. Try to find fresh water was the big deal then. And so I read the book and I went, oh my God, this is my life. This woman is living my life. She's on the road. She's by herself. She wants to have a man. She can't find a man. She can't, blah, 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 blah.
Not easy to do in Provincetown for a straight.
Not no, or any other place for me.
Yes.
but women weren't supposed to be
Right.
forward. I guess I don't know what another word to say. Bitchy. And so I read the book and I thought, well, maybe I'll do a show. And then I started finding out her songs and getting the Xeroxes of those. And then we did it one summer in Provincetown, just a kind of a fake thing, just a tryout thing. And then from there, the ball kept rolling and blossoming. And then, I did it in Denver, Colorado for 6 months as a 2-act play musical. And then they had an opening at the, I can't even remember the name of the theater, Sharon. You worked there for, 3 months, for Pete's sake. They had an opening in New York because something didn't come through and they didn't have the money. I had all the costumes. I had all the arrangements. I had everything just in the trunk. And I moved the trunks to New York and we opened. We were supposed to be there a month. We ran 3 months. They didn't really advertise us. We had like one ad a week or something. So it had to be word of mouth to get out there. So and then now it's kind of a 1 act where I don't have to do all the costume changes. I mean, we had sets of costumes. So I do it every once in a while, but now it's going to be difficult because, she was a big woman and I don't weigh 172 pounds,
Wow.
So.
And you mentioned Provincetown. You've became a name for yourself in Provincetown. What is it that you love about performing in Provincetown? It's not an easy nut to crack in Provincetown. You certainly did. And what is it for you that you really love about performing in Provincetown?
Well, I like the people. I have so many friends there since 1980, for Pete's sake. That's a lot of friends. We go way back, and we went through some hard times there with the epidemic that was then in the 80s and 90s. And just some good people, down to earth people. Don't pull any punches, just friends. I've got friends all over the world, but just you prize the ones that are perfect. So.
Well, I want to ask you, Sharon. I mean, you've been in the business a long time. The business has changed a lot since you first began in the business. What are some of the changes that you that you've experienced in the business that you absolutely love that are now in place in the business? And what are some of the things that you absolutely miss that have changed in the business since you first began?
That's a tough one because I don't really analyze what changes are. I just go with the flow, which is the only way to go, quite frankly.
I'm going to adjust my camera here for.
Oh.
And my camera went out of focus for just a moment. Sometimes that happens with the Ethernet. So Don Berger tells me that I'm out of focus, and there I am. So
there you are. You're poked. You're poked now.
Thank you, Don Berger. So yes, I'd be lost without him sometimes. He's as we all would be. So thank you, Don. So anyway, no, that's a great way of looking at things. Just keep moving forward.
Yeah, it just, I don't think the audiences have changed a little bit. I think their attention span is less, which makes it hard if all you sing are ballads. all you want to do is slash your wrists. It's really tough on you.
Well, you've done a show called Songs to Offend Almost Anybody. Would you consider doing an evening of just ballads?
Yeah, right. Sure. Up-tempo ballads. Yeah. No, I love that Songs to Offend Almost Everyone's show because it grew and grew and grew, and it's actually compared now when I started doing it, which was like 2000. the songs nowadays are so much more offensive. It's just really a comedy show with some dirty words in it.
Well, I mean, I've seen the show, and it's more suggestion more than anything else, and it's titillation,
Yes.
but nothing that's overtly dirty. And Sophie Tucker did a lot of those songs, from her era and everything. We're living in a PC world. Has it gotten harder, because of the changes in the world?
Hmm. I don't think we're living in a politically correct time. I mean, there's some things are politically correct and some things are not. I just was reading about abortion and this whole Roe Wade thing,
Mhm.
which, I've been a woman's cause for a long, long time. It's a tough one to call because there's freedom and then there's freedom. I mean, it's a strange time we live in now. Strange time.
Mhm.
We need to get united behind something instead of being stupid. There are a lot of
Mhm.
stupid people out
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
They have no way of getting attention. Mommy, look at me, kind of. That's the way I look at some of these people that are protesting about being inoculated. You know what I mean?
Well, I have a theory on what we're going through right now, and I think a lot of it has to do with entitlement. And I think that I think the last few generations, we have raised a generation to feel
Mm-hmm.
entitled. And I think because we have raised these people to feel entitled, it's a matter of what's in it for me instead of what can I do for my fellow man.
Right.
Um, and I want to talk about something. Yesterday was World AIDS Day, and and you lost so many friends. Randy Schultz and the band played on. You're in the book.
Yeah.
You were there in the very trenches at the very beginning of this. Um, we're going through tough times now. If you can just, for everyone who's watching right now, um, just talk about that for just a moment, and and the fortitude of getting through these tough times.
Well, we didn't really know about the disease then, so it was kind of touch and go. Just feel your way through getting to get to, you can get it by breathing the air. You can get it by this. You can get it by that. There's so much misinformation, kind of like now,
Mhm.
and so it was tough in the beginning. We did. Uh, I can remember doing a fundraiser at like a leather bar on Market Street. I don't know if it's there today. Probably not there. I can't even remember the name. But Willie Brown, who was the speaker in the Assembly of California before he became mayor,
Mhm.
was the auctioneer, and I was the Vanna White. And people brought in things from their homes, a lamp from their home to auction off to raise money for AIDS. And so I would hold the lamp, and Willie would do the auctioneering thing. There were some times that we did the one that's in the Schiller book. Was I decided that we should have a party, and they allowed the patients to have alcohol. We had champagne punch or something like that, and hors d'oeuvres. My roommate at the time catered the thing. He was the chef for the Duke and Duchess of Bedford, and he moved to San Francisco, and he did the catering. And we had little David, who was the bartender at Fanny's, dressed up as a whack with a wig and everything. And we had people serving cocktails and orange juice and stuff like that. And the patients were there in their room. Russell Kassman, who had a piano company, delivered a piano. We rolled it into one of the large rooms, and the patients came and sat in chairs. Some of them had their heads shaved. It was I Jim Bob playing the piano, he didn't look at them. He didn't look at them. I looked at them and would just, da 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 da. It was one of the hardest jobs I ever did in my life, because trying to entertain and make people laugh who, some of them were halfway there. You know what I mean? If I talk about it anymore, I'm going to have a problem. They put my name on this stone at the National AIDS Grove in Golden Gate Park, and they had a ceremony. And I just, it was just tough to go back and relive all those moments, because it was, you would see somebody at the store, and if they looked gaunt, you knew, and they would look at you and go, please still be my friend, because a lot of people lost friends and lovers and just estrangements, just because nobody knew really about the disease. It was so unknown, it was.
And the other thing is that for those that may not remember or were too young to remember, we didn't have the internet.
No.
So when you went out to a club or to a bar, you would see someone for weeks, and then you wouldn't see anyone, and you would ask about somebody, and they'd say, well, that person passed away.
Yeah.
And it would be that sudden that you would hear about
Yeah.
someone. A lot of people don't know this, but Elizabeth Taylor, with her involvement, she said she was in Rome, and it wasn't because of Rock Hudson getting AIDS. It was because she saw a patient who said that no one would touch him. And she hugged him and said, I have to do something about this.
Yeah.
And that was how she got involved. So God bless you, Sharon.
Oh.
No, seriously.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, you were there, performing and, and doing what you could,
Yeah.
So, for anyone who is out there who, we're going through tough times now, do what you can for your fellow man. So let's get back on track with where you are now. Vitello's, December 9th.
Yep, Thursday.
Yes, with John Boswell. Give him my love.
Yes, I will.
Tell us what audience can expect at the show. You are celebrating the holidays.
A little bit. I'm an atheist, so
Okay.
I'm an Orthodox Druid. I always would say I'm an Orthodox Druid because nobody knew what an Orthodox Druid was before the internet,
Okay.
And I'm going to do a couple of my kind of Christmas songs, because I don't do, It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing Silent Night. We're not doing Deck the Halls. It's, I do my kind of Christmas. I had for years, I did a show called Twisted Xmas, which was, I found these tunes. You had to scurry to find some great songs, but Santa Lost a Hoe, I'm kind of now famous for that song. I have to do it. And matter of fact, I'll be doing it on Sunday, coming up this Sunday, at the benefit in San Francisco. And it's a sing-along song. So, he used to go ho, ho, ho. Now he only goes ho, ho. And this audience says, oh. Where'd the other hoe go? I don't know. Santa's feeling mighty low. He used to go a hidey ho ho. Now he only goes hidey. Oh. Where'd the other hoe go? I told you, I don't know. Santa lost a hoe. It's just screwball. It's just, my father was a mailman. So we didn't really like Christmas that much. He liked it in a sense that he got a lot of gifts from all the people on his route. He got socks or booze, or maybe they gave him money, or they probably shouldn't have given him money. I don't think he didn't tell us about the cash. So Christmas was not really a fun time. And then, when my parents finally divorced, and only the Rockefellers divorced, it was not a pleasant time either. It became less pleasant, or less pleasanter. I don't know, conjugate that verb. And so it's, it's not going to be a lot of Christmas songs. because and the thing is, I don't work LA a lot, and I haven't really worked my act for almost 2 years, which is, I mean, I've one song here, one song there, internet this, but so I'm going to do songs that people have kind of requested besides Christmas, because we're being bombarded. It was before Thanksgiving they started doing this Christmas crap. You know what I mean? And I'm a humbugger from way back.
Well, Sharon, we're going to wrap up. But before we do, I always end my show with my homage to James Lipton inside the Actors Studio, which was my favorite show on TV. He had his list of 10 questions. And since you're an atheist, I'm not going to ask you the questions about going to heaven and those things. These are my 9 questions just to wrap it up. So the first question is, what is the biggest challenge that you feel that are facing people of our age group in our profession today?
Discrimination.
Okay. And what is the hardest decision that you have ever had to make in your career?
In my career? Well, besides getting up in the morning.
Which I'm thrilled that you did for me, so thank you for that.
The hardest decision I ever made in my career. I haven't made that decision yet.
Okay, there's still
I
time.
mean, the next coming decision that I have to make is if I want to do a Mae West show, and it's be such an obstacle in the sense that it's a cast of 5, and that means I got to raise a lot of money and costumes, and do I really want to do that? Just I like her a lot, but I don't know if I like her that much.
Well, I hope you do.
Oh, thanks.
What do you consider the best thing that has ever happened in your career?
The best thing. The best thing. The best thing actually that ever happened in my career was the fact that I produced my first album in 1978. And then I produced a second album in 1979. And then somebody picked my contract up and they produced a third album in 1980. And then probably my first CD, producing my first CD. Yeah. I think because the organization that you have to go through to do that and get the musicians and listen to the music, and I'm not big on listening to myself, which as I pointed out earlier, because then I get critical. I go, oh geez, hair is wrong, and just it's what my mother was a Virgo, so she was a perfectionist, and so that kind of rubbed off on me, that everything has to be right, and it can't always be right, you know what I mean?
Well, I think it is for you. And I pulled this question because it is the holidays, but a song that does come up over the holidays. My favorite things. What are a few of your favorite things?
A good coffee. Vanilla bean ice cream, soft blanket, a nap. Which I'm going to take between interviews, I'll tell you quite frankly. Let's see. Sunshine, flowers. Because I could just keep naming foods, and then I lost weight, not gained weight. Good friends, good times, good laughs, making people laugh. Because we need all the laughs we can get. It's tough out there.
Yeah. All good answers. Great. In what way? Well, you're going to love this question. In what way have you displayed the best taste in your career?
Best taste.
Yes.
The best taste is in my mouth. Yeah. Uh, best taste into my career. I think maybe my costumes, my garb. I was going to say my hair, but not today, because I had a hairdresser for 23 years, Rocky, who took care of me in San Francisco. So my hair was immaculate. He wouldn't even let me leave the house unless my hair was perfect, you know. So that would be one of the things. And the costumes. I had a really good sewer who actually did Charles Pierce's gowns as well.
Wow.
Herman George was his name. So I was well dressed and well kept.
That's great. Good.
Yeah, don't beat that.
What would your 18-year-old self think about where you are today in your career?
Oh,
looking at your resume today.
Jeez. She'd be amazed, you know, that I got this far. I don't know. I just, I usually don't look back and philosophize on my previous past.
Okay.
on my shady past. There are a few things in there. I'm telling you that, you know, I mean.
Okay.
That I mean, it's not, you know.
Okay. What is the best example of loyalty that you have ever experienced in your career?
Loyalty. You know, the fact that people have been showing up to see me for the last, 40 years, the fact that they still remember, and actually the Facebook has kind of helped perpetuate that. Oh, I saw you and blah, 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 blah. You're still going. Oh, that makes me feel so happy and blah, blah. Well, go out some more. Come on, try to keep this ship floating, will you please? And so that, I think it's the fans that have been around for a long time that still remember it. Many of the fans have become friends, so that's nice too.
That's great.
Yeah.
And what are the things in your life? We talked about your favorite things, but what are the things in your life that you need to throw out?
Well, I already got rid of 35 pounds, so that's a great one right there. I need to throw out. I wish I need to throw out. God, I'm becoming a hoarder, so I don't really. I'm not a thrower outer. I'm a hoarder instead. I wish I didn't drink. But when you're by yourself and you just need to press that person down and just calm down, just relax. I have to have a couple of cocktails at the end of the night, But I probably would have been thinner sooner if I hadn't. But I always say, what do you do? I'm in the business of selling liquor. Because I entertain and I'm selling liquor to make people who have the roof over my head, keep them in business. So that's, and everybody kind of went, huh? Yeah. Down to the reality part, If you don't sell the tickets and the liquor, you're out of here.
That's show business.
Yeah.
This is my last question to you. Earlier you mentioned when you first, when people were coming up to you and they were telling you you should do a Sophie Tucker show, that you really didn't know who Sophie Tucker was, that you started researching her, and obviously you came to know who she is. But let's say that there are people who don't know, there may be one or two, who don't know who Sharon McNight is. And who would you tell people who Sharon McNight is?
Well, when I first started out, I got 3 names: Sophie Tucker, Mae West, and Bette Midler. So I'd say here's what Sharon McNight is. She's an entertainer. She entertains people. She's not a singer. She's an entertainer. She does A to Z, soup to nuts is what I always called my act, soup to nuts. And I'll do anything for a laugh. I'll tell a joke. I'm not frightened to take charge. I mean, this is my party, and I'll cry if I want to, so to speak.
For you.
And a lot of times in the very beginning, when the boys were rowdy, it was crowd control. It really was crowd control. Because a couple would be necking over in the corner, you had to kind of go with the flow, so to speak. But yeah, that's crowd control.
Great. Well, I want to thank you for doing the show. Don't go anywhere for a moment. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'm sure I can speak for Sharon when I say this. We don't take it for granted when you take the time to spend a little time with us. And the fact that you spent an hour with us this afternoon, I thank you for that. My show is Richard Skipper Celebrates for a reason. I'm all about celebrating artists and their body of worth. And Sharon is always worth celebrating. I have been a fan of hers.
My body.
Yes. I have been a fan of Sharon's since I first saw her at 88 in the early 80s. And anytime that I've been in the audience, it's been a great experience. We've shared stages together, and I thank you for those moments as well. I hope that those of you who are here for the first time, that this will not be your last time. If you are on Richard Skipper Celebrates on YouTube, you'll see there's a little button that says join the celebration. I got rid of the word subscribe because I want to think of all of you as more than subscribers. I want you to be part of this celebration. Hit that button. Check out the other people that I've celebrated here, and check out the others that are coming up. I also have a newsletter called The Skipper's Guide. It comes out every Monday. And if you go to richardskipper.com and just sign up for it, you'll get that every Monday. I don't spam. It's once a week, and it'll keep you up to date with everyone that's coming up. Leave a comment here. Share this with your friends. Tell your friends about the show. I also end every show by telling everyone to go out and do something nice for somebody else without expecting anything in return. Go to your Facebook friends list, and the second name that pops up, reach out with a phone call. Not an email message, not a text message, not a private inbox message, but a phone call. And let that person know what they mean to you. Because as our dear friend David Friedman says, we're all in this together, but we're not in the same boat. And I always say, if you're going to go out in a boat, make sure you bring a skipper along. Now, Sharon, I'm going to leave the screen, and I'm going to give you the final word.
Oh, no.
Yes. Anything you want to say about anything that we talked about today that you want to build upon, anything that that we didn't talk about that you wish we had, or just any message that you want to say to leave everyone with today. Don't worry about how to end the show, because as soon as you say goodbye, I will end the show. I thank you for being here today, and I love you, Sharon, and have a great show at Vitello's.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Be there. Thank you so much. Love you.
I don't know what to say, man. I'm at loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. Hard to believe, but true. Well, take care of yourselves. Stay warm. Bundle up. I've got to remember how to pack a bag now, and not forget my toothbrush. So take care of yourselves. Have a good holidays, whatever you celebrate, and stay out of trouble. Bye-bye for now.